o'clock on Friday, the 10th of June. And as we do round about this time every Friday morning, we're catching up with the wonderful Bill Carne for our Pembrokeshire Sports Update. Bodada, Bill, how are you doing?
Good morning, fine, and I hope everyone listening is fine. Nice little start there. Hey, yeah, to all the people who are listening, yeah.
Hey, yeah, indeed. And in fact, Bill, you've been busy this week with some more cricket midweek, is that right?
There's been a lot of cricket, and Marilyn, Mrs. Carne, as you know, is very patient, and she encourages me to go and watch. Now, some people say that's to get rid of me, but I think she just likes me having a healthy interest. And there's been some strange results. I mean, if you look, the Dougie Morris Cup was on this week, the quarterfinals. That's for the teams who in the past have won the league or the Harrison Allen Bowl, but also on was the Alan Brown Cup semi-finals, which are teams from Division 3 down. Llanrhian have won it the last 2 years, but they can't play this year because they're in Division 2. And it's played at Whitland. Is a fantastic welcome there. And it's played Harrison Allen rules. The final is for the teams in the lower division. And people love it. It's organised by the Pembrokeshire referees, the Umpires Association. And if you wanted contrasting results, Tom, in the one game, I felt sorry. I went up to watch Fishguard. They were overwhelmed by Kilgetty, who scored 146 for 5, with Ollie Gamble getting 44 not out and Levi Hughes 4 for 10. And poor old Fishguard were drummed out for 31. So that was a game. And in the other one, then it was Stackpool who were hot favourites in the 3rd division, playing Huntleton, who were in Division 5. Huntleton 107 for 6. Stackpool 107 all out, a tie.
Wow.
So, in the very dark time that they finished off, they had to play a super over. We've heard of Lewis Gibby, who plays rugby for Pembroke. He's going back to Narberth this year. He hit a 6 to help take Stackpool to a score of 12 in one over, and poor old Huntleton could only manage 8. So they bowed out and were very disappointed. But there's a contrast in 2 semi-finals, Tom.
I would say so. And a draw in cricket, it's not that common, but common enough to have this super over. So just how, like, when that happens and when those runs, the tension that those players must be under as it nears the end of the over must be quite incredible.
Yeah, in my career in Pembrokeshire, for want of a better word, I played in 2. The first one was at Pembroke Dock and we won it. And I've never played in a game that was so dark. And it's a tense final way to end the game, but it's the only way in the end other than to replay it or bowl at the stumps, which is a bit like a penalty shootout in football. So it was good. And then the Dougie Morris, can I tell you a bit about that?
Go for it.
There was some tension in that. Loreni played Nayland played Haverfordwest, the top tie on paper. Loreni scored 147 for 8, Brad McDermott Jenkins 38. Haverfordwest had only lost 4 wickets and needed 5 runs in the last over, with 2 of their boys who looked fairly settled in at that time, and they didn't get it. They lost by 2 runs, so they're sick as parrots. And Nayland and showed their battling spirit again. They just will not admit defeat, you know. There was a bit of a surprise at St. Ishmael's in not the best weather. I don't think I've been so cold for a long time, but they kept me supplied with plenty of coffee there. St. Ishmael's 147 for 8, chasing Pembroke's 168 for 5. So that's the second division team beating a first division team. Skipper Jack Harris 59 for Pembroke's and class bat in there. Phil Llewellyn making his debut for Tish after moving from Langham along with Richard Brock. I think that was a bit of a surprise. He had 61 for Tish. Show he's going to be an asset there. In the other games, Loreni 195 for 9, quite comfortably beat Carew 157 for 9. Remember I mentioned an Australian called Troy Purslow the other week, playing for Loreni, another 53. We've mentioned Finn Lewis, 14 years of age, plays alongside his dad Steve for Loreni, 4 for 31. So it's amazing how you can get that. And in the last game of the week, Narberth 181 all out, Kyle Quartermain 69, Jordan Howell 59, and Lewis have 4 for 24. And they beat Langham, a fellow first division team, 55 all out.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
That really is.
The draw for the semi-finals, Loreni against Nayland and Narberth against Pembroke. So Narberth and Pembroke will forgive me for saying it, but, you know, they've got a chance again at that final, when they said Pembroke certainly wouldn't have expected to have a chance, and Narberth are showing why they're in the third in the table at the moment. So fantastic, really.
Yeah, it's really showing how competitive the cricket season is, and
Oh,
I'm new to the season, but what I know already from the results this year that it's anyone's in any divisions at the moment, isn't it?
well, if you want proof of that, Tom, we mentioned it last week, but it's the tightest battle in the first division and almost the same in the second division I've ever known. In the first division, the gap between the first team and the seventh team out of 10 is 14 points. That's half of what you
Wow.
get for winning a game. And then the bottom three clubs, then there's only 6 points between those as well, and they're about 30 points behind the league leaders. So it's just amazing, really. And this week's game throw up some fantastic fixtures. Tomorrow, Criselli, who are second, playing Neyland, who are first. There's a battle for you.
Yeah.
And at the other end, Pembroke Dock, who are ninth, play Haverfordwest, who are 10th. So we've got two top teams, two bottom teams. And then Saundersfoot, sixth, are playing Narberth, who are third. They've done well, both those teams. Langham, seventh, play Loreni, fifth. And Tish, who are eighth, play Carew, fourth. So there's some intriguing games again tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it's funny we're talking about this competitive cricket league, but there's concerns around the participation of cricket and the future of cricket. But you've been talking with someone who might have a plan, who we're going to be hearing from on Monday evening.
Yeah, we've got some really interesting stuff on Monday night on the show, which you were heavily involved in. Fraser's got he's going to talk to someone from a ladies cricket festival at Llanrhian, Llandygig Fawr, and another from Prysgilly Golf Course, where there's a tournament. I'm talking to Matthew Mosley, who's a very, very talented golf pro. He was on -4, which meant he had to play, if he played to his normal play, 72-hole course, he should be expected to do it in 68. He's now lower than that because he's a teaching professional. He's from Whitland area. He plays, he's the coach, one of the coaches at Tenby. So we're talking to Matthew about his play there. And Jonathan Willington, who wrote one of the best articles I've read for a long time on my website, pembrokeshiresport.co.uk, mine and Gordon's. And he wrote about his concern for making sure kids stay in the game. Now, he speaks from experience because he plays at hook, and his boys, Jamie Phelps' boys, and Andrew Miller's boys, sort of as stars there, 14, 15, 16. We talked last week about one of the youngsters wanted, he was on 95, not out with one ball to go, playing 14 years of age, mind, and he hit the six to get 101. And he knows what he's talking about. He's coached the county, he's coached in Pembroke, but he's concerned. So what he's doing, which is really interesting, there's no youth team per se in Pembrokeshire now representing the county. So he's going to give the boys there. It's not a Pembrokeshire county team, but he's going to have a team which he's calling the Pembrokeshire Cricket Vikings team, not to be confused with rugby. And he's talking about how they're going to get games around. They played last week at Pembroke Dock. They're available to play other sides or other representative teams. For example, I'm going to mention to Fraser that Llanrhian, who are 75th birthday celebrants, could well play them. And there's some talented boys there. And he's even gone to the expense. He'd tell me off the tail saying this, but I will. He's even gone to the expense of providing them with caps, very specially made caps for them to say they've got a Pembrokeshire Vikings cap. So well done to Jonathan Willington. He's a poker and gamekeeper because when he was a youngster, he played in the same team as me in Stackpole. And as fiery a blinking competitor as you've ever come across. But he's an umpire now. He's hugely respected and a top man in cricket. We need more like him.
Oh, fantastic. And diverting, well, we're looking forward to hearing more of that on Monday evening. Tune into the Pure Sports Show from 7 p.m. on Monday night to hear that interview in full. But also, Bill, we've crossed paths many a time in the Oggy Bridge Meadow Stadium, and their behind-the-scenes documentary, episode 1, was released last night. Have you had a chance to watch it yet?
I haven't, but I'm going to. Ryan Evans has done a great job of that. Gordon Thompson I have featured often in the chatting away to someone at the Bridge Meadow, and up sneaks Ryan with his camera. I was actually responsible for him breaking a camera, breaking the lens, because he put it on a stand when he was interviewing me and filming, and the wind blew the stand over and it cracked the lens of the camera. But he didn't charge me for it, luckily. But yeah,
he's a good guy,
and I'm looking forward to that. There's also on tonight at Fishguard, in Fishguard at Theatre Gwaun, which you know well, Sports Junior Girls team celebrate their 10th annual presentation evening. It used to be held at Fishguard Bay Hotel, and it's the 10th year I've been invited to everyone. I'm going to Maryland. We get royal welcome. And when they were at Fishguard Bay, of course, you laugh at this. There always was sausage and chips supplied, which was a bit of an incentive to go. This year, nothing like that, of course, in Theatre Gwyn. That's far too poor. But Marilyn and I still going, and we'll enjoy seeing the girls get their awards there, because it is a special club that's run by Matthew Minty Lamb, who we've spoken to before. And next Saturday, I know we got time before that, can I quickly mention, it's the inaugural presentation in for the Pembrokeshire Vikings Rugby Club at
fantastic.
Rugby. And I'm going to be at the MC with Leanne Morgan, who's been on the show, and Ben Cuchero. And I'd have to say well done to Simon Gardner, the coach, and Andrew Meddings, who helps to organise it as well. So there's things there. And you said about this week, of course, it was the first ever boxing show put on by 10 Sharks Club. So David Marks, say well, and I hope to see sport.
Fantastic. You're breaking up just a little bit there towards the end of that segment. But Bill, thank you as ever on this Friday morning for giving us the Pembrokeshire Sports Update on a Friday morning. We're going to be catching up with those interviews that Bill has had on Monday evening on the Pure West Sports Show at 7 p.m. right here on Pure West Radio. We've got Traffic and Travel on the way, and Bill has requested, I think we've lost him a little bit through the connection, but he's requested Elton John, The One, this week. It is Feel Good Friday. However, we've got Tammy Foley on the way from the Carers Forum. She's going to be talking to us about Carers Week. Bill, if you're there to say goodbye, and we'll chat again soon. I think he's there. I'm going to press play anyway. Here we go. You're listening to Pure West Radio.
This is Pure West Radio.